Welcome, folks, to the Illini Guys Halftime Live. Today, of course, we already are so fortunate to see the Illini basketball program up 49-34 over a talented Arkansas team at the half. But we've got something a little football related, because those of you who are Illini fans who were paying attention earlier today, the Illini got a Bielema alert, and when Bret Bielema puts out the alert, that means somebody talented is going to be an Illini football player. And we have Grant Beerman, who is a 2025 four-star linebacker for Lakota West. He is 6'4", 220 pounds. He runs a 4.54 40. Got a 4.1 GPA. This says Illini all over it. Grant, you decommitted from Purdue and you're an Illini. Congratulations on that. Can you tell us a little bit about why you made the decision to go from Boilermaker commit to Illini commit?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. When I look at the decision, really it came down to a couple of factors. Obviously, you look at Purdue and not much success there, but then you look at Illinois and great season, great coaching staff, and, a great community of fans. I think that adds on to the education. I'm trying to study business, great business school. And then it's got a great football history, great linebacker history. I think it just presents a really great opportunity that I just couldn't.
Grant, can you tell the people out there, what is it like to tell a coach that you're going to decommit and you're going to go to a different school? How hard is that to tell a coach that? And then also, what was it like to call the Illinois coaching staff to congratulate them?
Yeah, so the worst part about recruiting that I don't think a lot of people realize is the calls, like the communication, telling coaches you're not coming, telling a coach you're decommitting. That's by far the hardest part for me. I dreaded it the whole time. So telling Coach Kane and Coach Walters I wasn't coming, that was, really tough. I really enjoyed that connection with those guys. So it's not easy, but after I made that call, I felt relieved, because then I could call the Illinois coaches, and that's a lot of excitement. Just hearing their voices, hearing their excitement, just telling them I'm part of the family. That kind of makes it all worth it. Although it's not easy, it's definitely worth it at the end.
So here, just a follow-up question, if I may. When you tell a coach, like you told the Purdue coaches, did you tell them where you were going? Did they try to talk you out of it, or did they just say okay and they respected your feedback?
I told them. I told them where I was going, but they were very respectful. That's what I really respect about the staff. That's actually why I originally committed there. I thought they were genuine, great coaches, great guys. Although not much success there, I still believe their character is the same. So when I told them, obviously, they wanted me to stay, but they respected my decision, which I, really appreciated, because that makes it easier on me. But overall, it wasn't as bad because they made it easier for me.
Perfect. So one other question is, when you look at what Bret Bielema is built here at Illinois, where they all of a sudden are competing for bowls and doing those things, he's created a family type of atmosphere. What was the atmosphere like that attracted you to Illinois, and what did you think of Bret Bielema as the leader and the person who runs the ship, so to speak?
Yeah, so I come from a really good football program at Lakota West. My head coach, Coach Bolden, he's a great coach known in the area, and his kind of, his idea of what the program's like at West is similar to what it's like at Illinois. And I've been fortunate enough to succeed at West through that history, and that's what I kind of get from Coach B, that it's kind of the same message, the family vibes. And I really saw that when they played Michigan. Michigan, really good team coming off a national championship, even though they're not having a great of a year, beating them. That's a really great win. And I think when he got that win, that really spoke to me what the program is and what the future looks like. And so being a part of that future really excites me.
Grant, one of the things a lot of recruits talk about is the facilities. First, can you tell some of the other schools that were recruiting you before you committed to Purdue, and how does Illinois football facilities rank compared to some of those other schools?
Yeah, so other than Purdue, I was being recruited by Michigan State, Duke, and Cincy. Those are all, different conferences. You got Big Ten, ACC, Big 12. So the one thing I will say in recruiting that's interesting is with the Power 4 level, most of the facilities are really similar. It's usually I don't make my decision off facilities because anywhere you go in Power 4, that would be really nice. But I will say I was, really impressed with Illinois because some of the teams they're kind of older or they might be building, and so it might be like my junior year they'll be done. But Illinois, I can go in right away and be top-notch facilities and the best in the country.
What type of feedback and what type of interaction did you have with the assistant coaches, and what impressions did you have of some of the assistant coaches during this process?
Yeah, so looking at all the assistant coaches across the country that recruited me, they're all kind of different. Some might be former players, some might be smarter, like some might be just really players of the game. Students of the game. But what really attracted me at Illinois was Grant Morgan, former All-American linebacker at Arkansas. That just speaks to me right there. Like being a linebacker myself, trying to be the best I can and trying to be an All-American just like him. You want to play for somebody that's an assistant coach that your play for. Because, the linebacker coach matters, but the assistant is, nearly as important because you're going to be talking to him when the linebacker coach can't. And so playing for somebody that's been at that high of a level at Arkansas, that just was really attractive to me as a recruit. I really want to play for somebody like that.
Grant, one of the things that I'm the director of recruiting for IlliniGuys, and I've talked to a number of recruits, and one of the things that I really like about the Illinois message is their family. So I want the listeners out there to hear from you. What is that family vibe? Because every school sells it. And that's the one thing I'll say to you right now, that you're very honest about your answers and you're very fair. But what is this family vibe like in Illinois that's different from other schools? Because they have received some commitments from big-time players that have committed or want to go to some of the traditional top programs in the country, but the way Illinois sells their family, what is it, that family vibe? Can you explain to the listeners out there what that really is?
Yeah, so like you said, every team says they have a family, but I think Illinois is for real. You look at Coach B's just coaching tree. I think it was 7 of his former players are coaches, and so he cares for his players. He can say he cares for his players, but then you actually look at it, and he does. A lot of coaches say they care, but then they have no former players on their staff. But Coach B, he has multiple former players. That really speaks to me. And then I talked to some of the players there, and they said, they all have a connection. Some guys, they would rather, they want the starting spot. They don't care who it is. But this type of group of guys that I talk to, they just want to succeed. So it doesn't matter who starts. They just want the best for the team. And I think that really spoke to me, hearing that message, because some teams, some players can be selfish, but not Illinois.
Your coach, obviously, Coach Bolden, very well-respected high school coach. If we were to ask him and to educate Illini fans and say, what kind of player is Grant Beerman? What does he do on the field? How do you think he would describe you to Illini fans who are anticipating seeing you in the orange and blue?
Yeah, I would say he would describe me as a hardworking, versatile leader. That's one of the things I had to work on this season. I was a captain, but I'm not the biggest vocal guy. I haven't been, but that is something that I had to work for. So that was hardworking. So I had to work to be more vocal, a bigger leader, and I think I really developed into that. And then versatile, I would say Coach B could put me anywhere he wanted on the field, and I would play. It does not matter. Like I won't complain. You put me out of position, I'll try my best. I'll work my hardest, and I just want to be on the field and help the team.
Recruiting is fickle, and it kind of trickles down. So I know you said you're kind of a quiet guy, but you're going to come in the class of 2025. Are you a type of guy to go out to get other recruits to join you to say, hey, you know what? I changed my mind. I know you're on the verge. If you have teammates or other players throughout the state, are you planning on trying to help recruit other guys to join you in the class of 2025?
Yeah. So since my commitment, there has been a couple of guys that I've reached out to or that I've had conversations with that.
You can tell us. You can tell us. We won't tell anybody.
But it's hard with 1 week till signing day. I will say that it's hard to be a big vocal leader on trying to get other guys. But I have had conversations with people and players that could potentially play here. But at final say it's not really in my control. But no, I've definitely tried to spread the message. Speaking of my teammate Cam Thomas, I would love for him to play. So I'm definitely going to work on him because that's my brother. I would love to play with him again. So yeah, you can definitely trust in me to kind of recruit him, recruit other guys. Because not only is that advantage to the team, but it's an advantage to me playing with somebody I have chemistry and a connection with.
We certainly saw what a chemistry and connection can do when Indiana brought half of the James Madison team. So there is a definite reality to what you're talking about. Now, I have to ask you a question. Now, with you, your last name is an NIL dream at Beerman. So are we going to see tons of companies coming towards you, and are you just going to have to wait until you're 21 to make all this marketing and advertising become a reality?
Yeah, I wish I knew the answer to that. I guess I'll find out in a couple of months. But regardless, I think I'm pretty fortunate with the Beerman last name, whether that's root beer company or when I'm 21. So
yep,
we'll see. I've definitely thought about it, so definitely explore it some more.
Hey, on another serious note, you're really young, and Mike and I were in our 90s. Some sarcasm here. We've seen Illinois football when it was at its worst, and Bret Bielema was actually from my hometown, and this guy has really changed the program. Mike and I have always said we as businessmen, we want Illinois to be competitive. They're not competitive. They are one of the top teams in the country. They, the days of going and getting beat 69-0, you might not remember those days, but that happened a lot. He has really turned this program around to where it's an attractive place. It's a good place for fans. It's a good place to where it's a good brand of football. Even though you don't know a lot about the past history, or maybe you do, what does this say for where the program is right now? Maybe people have told you how good of a coach he is, and he puts guys in the NFL.
Yeah, so a lot of coaches, they're recruiting, how they recruit players is with their recent success, or they're just talk about how they're a great coach, but actually putting it out on the field and having a record to show for it is a big thing. I think not only for fans but also as a recruit, seeing that Illinois is ranked top 25 in the country, I think it really speaks volumes to who Coach B is, not only as a person but as a coach. I think the family culture that has a part to do with it. I think just what he's building, I think it's just a start. I really think it's just a start and that he's going to build on it. And I think eventually whether that's in a couple of years or next year, who knows, in the playoffs.
Yeah, CFP, people are starting to see that is a potential reality as the Illini bring in more and more 4-star players and players with higher potential. Is there anything, as we start to look at, it's getting close to the end of halftime here, is there anything that you would want to say to Illini fans or any message that you would want to get out to those people who are thinking about what Grant Beerman's all about and what the next step of your evolution as a football player?
Yeah, I would just say, you guys are excited right now, but I think it's just a start. I really do. I trust in the plan. I'm going to be playing for him, whether that's 4 or 5 years. And I'm trying to make an impact, whether that's on special teams or on defense. I just want to help the program. I think in a couple of years, this will be the standard. I mean, 8-3 or, top 25, 25, that won't be good enough. So top 10 will be the standard. sooner or later.
Well, Grant, listen, it's Thanksgiving, and I know it's an awful lot for you to take your time away from your family to spend time with Mike and I and the Illini guys and the rest of the people out there listening to this show, halftime of the basketball game. Congratulations. I know the fans are really excited. The one thing I would tell you this, the Illinois fans are extremely passionate. Your Twitter feed or X, whatever you want to call it, ZTW, whatever, it's going to explode because the fans really, really support their sports program. So again, congratulations and happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much for coming on, folks. We will be back after the game is over, but a huge thanks to Grant Beerman for taking time away from his family on Thanksgiving. And of course, we're so pleased that he made it a commitment to the Fighting Illini and did it on Turkey Day to make the holiday just a little bit more festive for all of us. Thanks, Grant, and thanks everybody for listening.